It's 118 Days with the Tudors, and today we're thinking about 1598. And this is the year that William Cecil, Queen Elizabeth's greatest, most trusted advisor, passes away. So Elizabeth I had known William Cecil since 1550 when she appointed him as a surveyor. And by the time she came to the throne then in 1558, they already had a relationship of mutual trust and respect. So immediately she made him her chief advisor. He was her Secretary of State, and he very quickly took the lead and stayed in this role for the rest of his life and for most of hers. I'm not going to do a whole backstory here on William Cecil because we have looked at him in little bits and pieces throughout Elizabeth's reign. If you particularly want to hear more about him, let me know and I'll cover him another day. But we're going to start in the 1590s, where what's happened is two factions have developed at court, two sort of rival teams, if you like. Everybody knows that William Cecil is getting older. He has the most power currently besides the Queen. He's her right hand man. He is really influential with her. He has her ear. He's her most trusted advisor. So there's a real kind of argument going on over who's going to take over when he's gone. And there's two people vying for that position. First up, you've got his own son, Robert Cecil, who we are going to talk about a little bit more in the coming days. So William Cecil really wants his own son to fulfill that position. The other person who is after the job, no surprises here, is Robert Devereux, England's Elizabeth I's current favourite. As we know, Robert Devereux and William Cecil had quite a conflicted relationship, and Robert Devereux did have at this point quite a lot of support to be the one who takes over from William Cecil. So Robert Devereux and William Cecil have this kind of unbalance in their relationship. Now, as we mentioned before, in his kind of final years, William Cecil had quite a lot of tragedy. His beloved wife, Mildred Cecil, had passed away in 1589. She was a formidable woman. She was really well known for her incredible education and her very impressive library. And he had this incredible tomb created for her, this incredible monument, which you can see at Westminster Abbey. Really, really elaborate, real sign of love and devotion, I think. He also lost two daughters before his own death as well. So after all this, his health really deteriorated. Now, his health had been a bit of a constant issue throughout his life. He had endless attacks of gout and of fever, and he'd worked for Elizabeth for almost 40 years, and at various points he had tried to resign and she refused. So when his last illness took hold, Elizabeth actually stayed by his bedside and fed him with a spoon, and she said she didn't wish to live any longer than he did. His last words were to everyone the way to serve God is by serving the Queen, and to serve anybody else is to serve the devil. He died aged 77 in August of 1598. His funeral was conducted with elaborate splendour at Westminster Abbey. There you go, Elizabeth has lost her Secretary of State, her most trusted advisor, her most loyal companion, maybe in a way sort of the closest thing she had to a partner all these years. Although it wasn't a romantic relationship, it was a long-lasting one built on trust and real patience, I think, from Cecil. You get some conflicting depictions of Cecil with Elizabeth. Some people seem to think he was quite manipulative of her, that he knew exactly how to get what he wanted. He was running the show. For example, things like Mary Queen of Scots, her hand was forced. But then also we see that she was an incredibly frustrating and indecisive person, and he had to really contend with that and keep his cool and constantly try and guide her in the right direction without going above her head. So I'd be really interested to know what you think about Cecil and Elizabeth, about their dynamic. Was he this, fatherly, wise figure, or was he, you know, her manipulator? Was he ruling in all but name? So let's keep an eye on what's going on. Let's see who gets, over the coming days, that top position of William Cecil's replacement. And I will see you tomorrow for 1599, when we're going to talk about Reginald Scott, the author of A Discovery of... See you then.